Sin City will be the scene of the crime, so to speak, on November 6th when Caleb Plant takes on Canelo Alvarez for all the belts, all the marbles. But Sin City is our place of residence today as we go into the Caleb Plant Media Workout. Hello, everyone. My name is Luke Thomas, along with Brian Campbell. We are going to be the hosts of your program today. Appreciate you joining us. And BC, we did this last week with Canelo Alvarez. Today it will be for his opponent on November 6th for all the 168-pound marbles, as I indicated. What do you expect from Caleb Plant today?
Yeah, the unbeaten IBF champion, 29 years old, Caleb Plant. Look, this fight is such a big opportunity for his career, which, he only came on the national scene just a handful of years ago, got that big win over Jose Uzcategui to win that championship, has defended it multiple times. Now he's going up against the pound-for-pound king, the biggest star in the sport, in just over a week. I want to see him work out for sure, but just like Showtime's fine all-access documentary series ahead of this fight, you want to see what goes on inside the mind of this fighter who's had a very interesting, unique, and hard backstory in his life growing up in Tennessee to get to this point today. It's informed who he is as a man, as a fighter, and he may be a heavy underdog coming into this one, Luke. But he's a live one. He's a very good elite fighter stepping up to the biggest challenge of his career. I'm looking forward, when we eventually throw it to our colleague Ray Flores, to hear inside the mind of the unbeaten champion.
That's right. Ray is going to speak to Caleb Plant, but also people in Caleb Plant's orbit. Some coaches, some trainers, and a little bit of the few in between. So we look forward to hearing from Ray in just a few minutes. But first, BC, let's talk about how Caleb Plant has approached, not today per se, but this fight overall. We talked about it before on our show, Morning Combat, which was he's not laying down, he's not taking the gentlemanly approach, and you mentioned the All Access Episode 1 available right now on the Showtime YouTube channel, Showtime Sports, YouTube channel. And in that he says, look, what's the whole point of doing the gentlemanly thing? I'm not coming in there to pretend I'm your friend. I'm not coming there to pretend we're going to be buddies. I'm coming there to take everything you have. What on earth would be the reason for me to be nice about that? Do you like that approach from Caleb Plant?
It's not a like, Luke. It's a love. I love that approach. Will it matter on fight night? Look, these are the only questions. We can't answer these questions, right? Canelo and Caleb Plant are going to answer those questions in the ring only on Showtime pay-per-view. Be sure to purchase it, indeed. But look, here's why I love it. So many opponents have come to the altar, so to speak, of the pound-for-pound king, Canelo Alvarez, the global superstar, and sort of been happy to be there, happy to touch gloves in a unifying sense, or in just a, look, this is the biggest opportunity of their career. Because it is. When you fight the sport's glamour king and critical number one, it's going to be your biggest payday, your biggest platform, usually for a world title. Well, how about this for Caleb Plant? It's 4 world titles. What I have loved is the brash nature of not only self-confidence, but what you just said. There's no need to be a gentleman. This is a fight at the end of the day. And so many people have come to kiss the ring to Canelo, show the respect. They go inside the ring, and typically they lose, and they lose big. Why? Well, because Canelo is just that great. I don't know if Caleb Plant needs this edge to bring out the best of him, but it's hard for me to believe that we will not end up getting anything but the best of him because he's willing to do this. Luke, I don't mean to harbor and belabor it all together, but that September 22nd press conference in Beverly Hills to formally announce this fight, in which we had that dust-up, that little skirmish before the two went to the podium and spoke to the media, that was a big deal to me. It's a big deal if you're looking at this underdog in Caleb Plant and trying to figure out what's inside of him. I think at the very least what he showed us on that day, what he has shown us since in interviews in the documentary series aforementioned, is that he's coming to seize this. He's coming to take this. Carpe diem, you right? Seize the day. This is what Caleb Plant is bringing. We don't know if it's going to be enough until fight night, but I love the swagger, the posture, and, call him what you will. That speech he gave at that press conference about living ordinary lives as opposed to extraordinary ones. He's coming to win, Luke. That matters in this game. Everyone's in this game to win, right? No, he's posturing. He's coming to take those belts. So I think that's important as we get closer to this one.
And he called him just another opponent, Canelo Alvarez, which of course we know he's not, but probably having that frame of mind, assuming all the other pieces are in play, that is actually not the worst strategy I've ever heard. Let me ask you something about Caleb Plant's background, or actually, well, as it relates to Canelo. Here's what I mean. Let's think about and talk about Canelo's close fights. So we've got the Austin Trout fight. We've got the Lara fight. We've got maybe one or both of the Triple G fights, the Danny Jacobs fight. Now, they're all different fighters, different weight classes in certain cases, different moments in Canelo's career. is Caleb Plant like any of the names I just mentioned, or does he do a couple of things that those other fighters did that maybe he could take into his fight?
Yeah, I think he's totally unique outside of just a few sample. I mean, is he a pure boxer like a Lara or a Trout or even a Mayweather? Yes, but two of those three were southpaws, and look, nobody's comparing anyone to Floyd Mayweather under any circumstances. I think Plant brings a very unique sort of skill set here. Pure boxer, yes, but he's got fantastic hand speed, foot speed, and combination punching ability, which is a little bit different, again, than an Austin Trout or Erislandy Lara, who are more traditional boxers. From Trout, it was more of using that length and box to the body. For Lara, it was more about that speed, getting that left hand over the top. What Plant does, not a power puncher, not necessarily a huge finisher, but an aggressive, pure boxer. And that's the difference. If you look at his biggest victory, we mentioned it before, the title win 2 years back against Jose Uzcategui, he scored 2 key knockdowns in the first 2/3 of that fight, which really set him up on the scorecards to end up hanging on to win it in a close one. But he did that with that beautiful combination punching, finishing off both with a short left hook to the chin. Caleb Plant can do a lot of interesting, I don't want to say unorthodox, but a little bit offset of your traditional boxer, meaning he'll throw lead right hands. He'll leap in with sort of half sidearm hooks. There's a lot of wrinkle to his game. I don't like to just, paper him as just a boxer or anything else. Here's a dynamic fighter. Has he fought anybody of Canelo's caliber? No. But you're not going to know how good a guy is until he's in there with the very best. So I think that makes this for a very unique challenge for Canelo Alvarez at the very least at the end of the day.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I was looking at Caleb Plant's record, and he has not been fighting, obviously, for nearly as long as Canelo Alvarez. And he has had, obviously, numerous 12-round fights. I think this will be, though, only his 6th 12-round fight. And if you look at the 12-round fights he's had, some of them have been quite impressive and important. As you mentioned, the Uzcategui win, probably chief among them. Still, you would agree, though, the Canelo Alvarez stage, the size, the glamour, the spectacle of it all, I don't know if Caleb Plant has been in those, which is actually why I like his attitude, which is I'm going to treat everything like it's ordinary. I'm going to treat it like it's just part of the routine. I think you have to have that if you've never been there, almost a fake it till you make it kind of scenario.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you look at the scouting report and you sort of look at what Caleb Plant brings to the table and you say, what here could be problematic for Canelo Alvarez? Yes, we say hand speed, no question, right? We're going to find out when they touch gloves. If Caleb Plant has a significant advantage in hand speed, we got to fight here. Number 2, though, Luke, is that mental toughness. You learn more about Caleb Plant's story when you talk to him and you find out here's a deep, thoughtful, confident, enduring man who's been through a lot. And it's really, like I said earlier, informed who he is today. To him, this platform is just another step in his career, not the be-all, end-all. And while some of that, fake it till you make it, tell yourself the right things, I don't see someone who's faking, though, when I see him talk, when I see him speak. And that level of confidence can't be faked, I don't think. So that's going to be a key factor in this one for sure.
No doubt about it. More an expression of speech than it is anything else. All right, with that in mind, let's go now to Las Vegas with our colleague Ray Flores. He is going to talk to one Caleb Plant.
Thank you very much, Luke and Brian. Yes, we are here in Las Vegas at the home gym of the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World with a record of 21 wins, no losses, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Originally from Nashville, Tennessee, now residing here in Las Vegas. He will be making the 4th defense of his championship on the road to undisputed super middleweight supremacy. I present to you Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome in the champ. Great seeing you. 10 days away until your collision against Canelo Alvarez. What's going through your mind, champ?
Just finishing out camp. Camp's been good. Been great. Sparring's been great. They've been pushing me hard, and just looking out to finish out this camp, and, can't wait for the bill.
He told me last week when we interviewed him in San Diego that this is the most personal that he's ever taken a fight in his career. From your standpoint, is this the most personal that you've ever taken a fight in your career?
Absolutely. It's personal for me. Any fight is personal for me. I've sacrificed a lot. I've dedicated my life to the sport, and there's a lot I want to accomplish. I take the sport really serious, and so anybody in the way that is going to be personal for me, whether it's him or whoever it is going to be personal for me. But like I said, I just can't wait for the bell November 6th, and I'm ready.
What does it mean for you to see your name on the marquee for a big pay-per-view event on Showtime pay-per-view? It's all over Las Vegas. The world's talking about it. What does this mean to you?
I'm grateful. I'm appreciative of, the press that we're getting. But honestly, I'm not here for the press. I'm not here for the media. I'm not focused on my name or my face being up and down Las Vegas Boulevard or whatever the situation is. I'm here for those belts, and I'm here for that win. That's all I'm focused on.
Now, he believes that the first couple rounds are going to be tough. This is what he said to us last week, but he feels that in 7, 8, 9, he's going to be able to break you down. What is your response to that?
The first couple rounds is going to be tough. The middle round is going to be tough. The late round is going to be tough. He's got a tall order ahead of him. So I'm prepared. I'm focused. Me and my team are ready, and I'm just encouraging everybody to tune in because it's going to be fireworks.
Do you think that there have been times when guys have fought him that they've already come in intimidated? With you, I don't sense that. You are fearless. You've always been fearless over the course of your life from the moment I met you over 6 to 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think there's been some guys who have lost a fight before the bell ring. And, I think that's one reason he's so irritated with me. Some guys come in and they just there to let him win or hand over their belt, get their check and leave. But anybody who knows me like you or anyone else, they know that I'm not here, like I said, for the media. I'm not here for the press. I'm not here for the check. Like I said, I'm here for those belts, and I'm here for that win.
You talked about height. Do you believe that your physical attributes will give him some issues in the fight?
There's a lot of things I possess that's going to give him issues in the fight. So,
do you feel that this has been the best training camp you've ever had? I've seen you. You look in impeccable shape. Larry Wade speaks volumes about you. Justin says that this is the best camp you guys have ever had together. Yeah,
it sounds cliche. I almost hate to say it because it seems like every fighter, every camp, they say this is their best camp. But this has honestly been my best camp. This is the most sparring that I've had, the most sparring partners that I've had. I've had a lot of different looks, and it's been a great camp. No injuries, no anything. So I'm ready to rock.
What does this win on November 6th, when the bell finally sounds and they go ahead and proclaim you and you fulfill your lifelong destiny of becoming undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, what would that mean to you?
It would mean everything. I have a lot of respect for this sport. Like I said before, I've dedicated my life to this sport. I've sacrificed a lot. And, again, I'm not here for the media or the press. I want my name in those history books. I want, 1,000 years from now when they speak about boxing, I want them to bring my name up. And November 6th, that's a big step in that direction. And it's a big step towards, cleaning out and clearing out the super middleweight division. And
before I let you go and work out, and we're going to watch you work out here at your home gym in Las Vegas, but before you even won the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World against Jose Luis Uzcategui back in January of 2019, before you even fought for that title, you said, I don't want just one, I want all 4 belts. And now you have that opportunity in 10 days' time against Canelo Alvarez on SHOWTIME pay-per-view.
Yeah, big opportunity ahead of me, and, I haven't done anything to mess it up. I've taking no shortcuts in my training, in any aspect of my training, and that only doesn't go for this camp, but in all my camps. So I'm prepared, I'm ready, physically, mentally, spiritually, and I'm just locked in.
Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to allow him to wrap his hands and work out. We're going to talk with the members of his team as he gets set for his collision against Canelo Alvarez on SHOWTIME pay-per-view November 6th. Thanks so much, Caleb. We look forward to seeing you work out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, ladies and gentlemen, the champ is in the building. We're going to talk with the members of his team and also his lovely wife, Jordan Plant, who've been together for several years as well. Again, you are watching the workout of Caleb Sweet Hands Plant here in Las Vegas, 10 days away on SHOWTIME pay-per-view. As I'm going to go ahead and try to get a word with Larry Wade, his strength and conditioning coach, in a few moments. We are here with the strength and conditioning coach of the IBF super middleweight champion of the world. I like to call himself the strength and conditioning coach of the stars. That's my verbiage, not his, because he's working with everybody at this elite level. Larry Wade. Coach Wade, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
10 days away until Caleb Plant takes on Canelo Alvarez for all the belts at 168 pounds. What has been the mood here in training camp?
Positive. Great. Work ethic is there. The whole team is on one accord, one vision. We're working as a unit, and that's really, really, really important if in championship fights. This is going to be my 25th world title fight coming up here, and to be able to see a team gel the way we're gelling and understanding the job and being selfless in regards to getting the result, it's been wonderful.
Well, when it comes to gelling, I've seen the camp of Caleb Plant continue to get better and better with every single fight. Do you feel the same way when it comes to Justin Gamber, his lead trainer, his father Richie Plant, his wife Jordan, yourself, the entire team, Thel Torrance, Don House, the list goes on and on?
Yeah, the team has gotten better. I mean, we have a lot of very experienced and intelligent people in the corner and in camp, and when you get that kind of knowledge around each other, it makes it much better, and it breeds creativity. It breeds success, and so I'm looking forward to this fight. I know he's going to do well, and camp has truly shown that we've all grown.
So when it comes to the things that you're working on specifically, not giving away too much of the game plan, but Canelo is very big, he's very strong, he's explosive, he's powerful. What are some things that you've been working on with Caleb to prepare him for his collision against Canelo Alvarez on November 6th?
Well, let's be very clear. You know, Caleb came to me months ago in regards to preparing, not just for this fight, but whatever fight was going to come next. And he already had a vision of what he wanted to do. So Caleb put in a pre-camp prior to the camp. So we worked on a lot of things that's going to work for his development as far as doing the things in the ring. He'll have a lot of functional strength, which is what he needs in order to be able to get through those 12 rounds at a high level. But he's going to bring some things to the table that I don't think Canelo expects for him to bring.
So you think Caleb's going to be able to surprise Canelo on November 6th?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No question about it.
What has impressed you most from the IBF super middleweight champion of the world during this camp?
That is a very easy answer. His mentality. He has grown and matured into the footsteps in which he's in right now. He has definitely shown the world and shown me as a trainer that mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, that he's prepared to step into those shoes as the undisputed. And that's not always easy for people to do. He's ready. He's taking it on like a true champion in stride. And so just to see his growth and his maturity in this camp, it's been amazing.
It's no secret that the odds makers have Canelo Alvarez a sizable favorite coming into this fight. For this camp, with Caleb and in the entire team, do you guys pay attention to that? Do you use that as bulletin board material? Or is that just sort of, you don't even give it any sort of energy whatsoever?
Listen, the matchmakers aren't getting in the ring. Caleb Plant's getting in the ring. And we've been behind that in this situation before. When he fought Uzatake, they had us pick to lose in that fight. And actually had him pick to get knocked out by the 6th round. And look, he's the champion now. And he cleaned him out. So you can't go by the matchmakers. You can't go by people's opinions. You can only go by what happens that night. And myself and the team and I, we all believe 150% in Caleb, as we did when we first started, which has got us to this place and gotten him to this place. So nothing's changed. When that night comes, you're going to see a very confident and capable Caleb Plant.
So we're 10 days away from the fight coming up on Showtime pay-per-view, Caleb Plant against Canelo Alvarez for the Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship of the World. But what do you try to do as a strength and conditioning coach to keep him fresh, but also not sort of, give him too much to where he burns out during these last few days of training camp?
Well, timing is everything. And I'm a firm believer that if we're 10 days out and I'm still trying to put layers on his fitness and his strength, then I messed up somewhere along the ways. At this point, we should be in what I call Cadillac Street. We should be able to just take our time, ease off of any work that we're doing, let his body recover, and let his mind start to be fresh, because now this is when you guys come on. That's when the media comes, and so he has to work in a different way. So, no, we're at this point in camp, he's done everything he needs to do as far as being prepared for that fight. And as far as I'm concerned, right now we're just tying the shoelaces together so the shoes fit a little tighter, but we already got the shoes.
I've heard of verbiage from fighters that they either fight well when it comes to having emotion, and also guys say that they don't fight well when it comes to fighting with emotion. It's clear between both guys that this is personal. How do you anticipate Caleb being able to fight emotionally? Because I can't remember the last time that he ever had this much bad blood against anybody, and he will have that on November 6th against Canelo Alvarez.
Well, just like any pro athlete, and especially with Caleb Plant, it's going to be a yin and yang situation. There's going to be some moments where you're going to see emotionally he's doing the things he needs to do, and then you're going to see some moments when he's technically sound. At the end of the day, his emotional machine is there. So I have no concern. When it's time for him to tap into the emotion and actually let that be the engine, he's going to bring it. And I know that because that's what his heart's been around his entire career. People are looking at this one fight as his goal of saying, hey, this is what he wanted to do, this one fight. He's always wanted to be undisputed. Even when he got the IBF title, 2 years ago, that was just one of his goals. That wasn't his ultimate goal. Where he's at right now is his ultimate goal. So I expect to see a great show that night, a great show.
One thing I know that motivates Caleb is his wife, Jordan Plant. I see you doing strength and conditioning drills with Caleb, but then also Jordan is right there with him, running, doing the same drills. Right. How much does Jordan motivate Caleb as he prepares for this matchup?
Listen, I don't even have enough words to explain how big Jordan Plant is in regards to this camp and this machine running. We have a lot of different pieces, moving pieces, as you know, with all the different trainers. There's someone making sure these wheels coincide and work, accordingly. Jordan does everything from organizing to help prepare things for food and help prepare things for massages and making sure he's where he needs to be. And last but not least, because she does so many things for me to name, she's out there running with him in these workouts. And I don't mean running as like, let me just be out there to support my husband. No, she's pushing him. She's challenging him. When he doesn't do it at a high level, she's pressing him. And that is no words to even, show the world how much of an impact she is on this team. She's a great person here and a wonderful resource, and I'm grateful to have her around her.
My final question to you, Coach Wade. November 6th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, what's the result going to be when Caleb Plant takes on Canelo Alvarez?
And still, the undisputed, the undefeated world champion.
And now undisputed is what you're saying.
Now undisputed, correct. But undefeated, Caleb Plant, he's going to hold that hand up. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. I don't know what Canelo's thinking, but he's got a tall task ahead of him that night. This is not a guy that's going to lay down. This is not a guy that's going to bend. This is a guy that's going to bring it to you every single round.
Coach Wade, always a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you during fight week.
Thank you. Hey, watch the fight. It's going to be amazing. You don't want to miss it. I promise you.
The strength and conditioning coach of the Stars, Larry Wade, joining us as we continue to dive into Caleb Plant's workout here in Las Vegas. 10 days away. That interview got me so excited and amped up even more so. We will have Fight Week covered from top to bottom here on the Showtime Boxing and Showtime Sports social media pages. Do not miss it as we continue to await Caleb Plant as he gets set to work out here in Las Vegas ahead of his undisputed super middleweight championship showdown against Canelo Alvarez November 6th on Showtime pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Perfect. We are here in Las Vegas, still at the workout of Caleb Sweethands Plant, the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the world, alongside the esteemed trainer of Caleb Plant, Justin Gamber. Justin, thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely.
10 days away. Caleb Plant, your man against Canelo Alvarez. This is something that you guys have talked about since you made his pro debut, since he made his pro debut, and now it's just 10 days away. What's the mood like here in camp?
The mood is calm. The mood is cerebral and collected. We've been here before a number of times. To us, it's just another fight. It's a big fight, but it's just another fight. We train the same way. We prepare the same way. We make our small adjustments, but right now the mood is calm.
So it's more sort of putting the final touches on training camp, as that's what it is.
Absolutely. Putting the final touches on the training camp, fine-tuning a few technical points in our game, and just solidifying the game plan.
I asked Caleb earlier if he feels that the height advantage and the reach advantage that he possesses will play a factor in the fight. Caleb said that along with a multitude of other things, but when it comes to just the physical attributes, do you feel that that is going to play a difference in the fight on November 6th?
It'll only play a difference in the fight if we use it the right way. And there have been a lot of guys bigger and longer than Canelo that, where it hasn't been a factor and it hasn't affected him. But luckily, we have the tools and the ability to use it the right way. We have the skills to use our height, reach, and our physical attributes the right way. And I expect Caleb to do that on fight night.
Why do you feel that there is so much bad blood between the two? Because I asked Canelo if this was the most personal he's ever taken a prize fight. He said yes. I asked Caleb earlier. He said the exact same thing. Why is this fight the most personal between these two combatants?
When you get two alpha dogs together in the same room, it's never going to be calm. It's never going to be, flowers and hugs. It's gonna, when you get two alpha dogs in there together, it's always going to be clashing, and it doesn't surprise me. It's not personal on the team's end, as not as far as ours go. But these are two alpha dogs or two pit bulls, and they're ready to go at each other.
For you, having the likes of, you're the head trainer, but you have Richie Plant, who's obviously the father of Caleb Plant. You have Larry Wade, strength and conditioning coach. You have Thel Torrance. You have, also Don House here, Jordan Plant, who's very instrumental, the wife of Caleb Plant. Tell us about the camaraderie and the chemistry that this entire team has.
Our team, in my opinion, is the best team in boxing. Every piece of our team, every person on the team is a great asset to the team, and everybody is, in my opinion, the best at what they do. Chemistry and camaraderie is extremely important when it comes to teamwork, and every member on our team is an integral part of this team, and we all get along great, and it's a great environment for Caleb to work in. So, in my opinion, we have the best team in boxing, and it's going to show on fight night.
Canelo has stated, and he proclaimed to us last week, that he feels that the moment will be too big for Caleb. He said because he's been there on this level time and time again that he's used to it, but that Caleb will fold under the pressure and the lights. What is your response to that?
Well, Caleb has always done the opposite. Every time it's been time to step up. Every time it's been time to step up, like, in the Uzcategui fight, he was an underdog in that fight. The lights, the size of the event was never too big for him, and I don't expect it to be too big for him on November 6th. It sounds like Canelo, he's keeping his fingers crossed, and he's hoping that these things will take place, but it's never happened before, so I don't expect it to happen.
Do you feel like Caleb even gets better the bigger the size of the event? So the greater the event, the bigger the event, the more that Caleb thrives on that.
Absolutely. The more on the line, the more he steps up. It's the way it's always been ever since I met him, and nothing tells me it'll be any different on fight night.
Caleb's obviously living here in Las Vegas, but he's very proud of where he came from in the Nashville area, specifically Ashland City, Tennessee. What does Nashville feel, and how much prideful is Caleb and you knowing that you guys are representing Nashville in that area, an area that isn't known for prize fighting?
100%. 100%. I mean, it's everything to us. You know, we want to put Nashville on the boxing map, and to have an undisputed champion from Nashville is everything to us. You know, it's so important. So, you know, representing Nashville and winning, bringing all the 4 belts, it's everything. It's definitely what we plan to do.
Have you thought about fight night, what emotions you guys are going to be feeling like in the locker room, preparing to make that ring walk at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, sold-out crowd, millions watching around the world on Showtime pay-per-view?
You know, I really don't get caught up in thinking about things. I just stay focused on what I need to. When it comes, you know, it's a big moment, and I just stay focused on the fight. I zone in, but I haven't thought about that. I treat it just like another fight, but, you know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this fight, everything that's on the line, and, you know, it's going to be a great night for us on November 6th.
So not only is Caleb going up against Canelo Alvarez, but on the opposite side, from a trainer standpoint, you are going to match X's and O's against Eddie Reynoso. Do you pay attention to that? Does that make you, you know, try to have your man ready even that much more? Does that motivate you?
It motivates me. You know, I'm excited about the challenge. You know, I know that I respect Eddie Reynoso as a coach. He's accomplished a lot of things, and he's considered one of the top coaches. And I always look forward to a challenge. I don't necessarily, you know, alter what I do with Caleb, but because of Eddie Reynoso, but I definitely look forward to the challenge.
So has it been a little bit less hours of sleep as you watch more tape and dive into that?
100%, yeah. I've definitely gotten less sleep this training camp, but, you know, it's been good. I feel well prepared. The team feels well prepared, and it's going to show.
So if everything goes according to plan on November 6th, when it is known that Caleb Plant, if he defeats Canelo Alvarez, is the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, what would that mean to Caleb and to you and to the entire team?
I mean, you know, it's history. It's putting our names in the history books, and at the end of the day, when we're gone, you know, we want to leave our stamp on history, and it just means everything, you know. Especially given the fact that it's the first undisputed super middleweight champ will be crowned on fight night. I mean, against the pound for pound best in the world, you know.
It doesn't get any better.
It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better, and it's going to be a great feeling winning this fight.
Justin will let you train Caleb Plant. Justin Gember, the esteemed trainer of Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, joining us here in Las Vegas. Now it's time to watch Caleb Plant work out as he prepares for Canelo Alvarez November 6th. Now we are joined alongside by the wife of the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World and esteemed boxing reporter, Jordan Plant. Jordan, thanks so much for joining us. 10 days away until your husband steps inside the ring in Las Vegas. You have been with him since the outset. What does this mean to Caleb, to you, to your entire family and the team?
I mean, it means a lot. I mean, this is what Caleb's been working for since he started this when he was 9 years old. I'm just lucky to be a part of his journey, and I'm just trying to support him best I can.
Larry Wade and Justin Gamber have both told me that you are such an instrumental part of training camp. For those that don't know, what are some of the things that you do? Because I know what you do, but for the viewers out there, what do you do when it comes to helping out with training camp and making sure your husband is in the best possible position to succeed on fight night?
Well, the question is, what don't I do? Actually, I'm doing everything from running errands, filling orders, getting the team organized for meetings. Let's not forget the stuff at the house, like doing laundry. When a fighter's training 2 to 3 times a day, I think that people don't realize like how many training clothes they go through. Organizing meals, conferences, media calls, all that. So.
And when it comes to this fight, both guys, this is the most personal they've ever had coming into their prize fight. How is Caleb handling the fact that this is an emotional fight? There's bad blood between him and Canelo.
Wait, can you say that one more?
Like, how's he feeling? Like, you know, because his demeanor, I've never seen Caleb I've never seen so much animosity between Caleb and an opponent. We've seen bits and pieces of it, but never like this.
Well, I mean, Caleb's just being himself. I mean, he hasn't acted any different than he's been in any fights. He's always been one to be vocal about what he's going to do and talking to his opponent. I think, if anything, it's Canelo that's maybe acting a little different.
Do you think that shows, is that a weakness that you see out of Canelo, or do you think that's just Canelo being Canelo?
I'm not really sure what he has going on. I don't know him, so it's not fair for me to say what he's feeling or what he's thinking, but I just know that he's feeling some type of way, and I'm not sure why.
One thing I also have seen from Larry Wade's social media page is the strength and conditioning coach, that you're actually running with your husband. Is that something that, you know, does he thrive on that, and why do you decide to do that?
Well, I ran track at UNLV, and Coach Wade was my coach, so he allows me to join in on the workouts. That's something I just want to do for myself because working out is a lifestyle for me. And then, you know, Caleb's nice enough to let me join in. I don't do the full complete workouts because I'm not on that level. I mean, he's doing some hard workouts, but I kind of join in on the second half of runs just to help keep the pace. And we're training partners, really. On the track, at least.
Well, no doubt about it. And what would this win for Caleb to be the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world? If he were to defeat Canelo Alvarez on November 6th, what would that mean to Caleb, to you, and to the entire team?
Well, when Caleb defeats Canelo Alvarez on November 6th, a lot of you guys are going to have your jaws dropped, and it's going to mean the world to me. We put in a lot of work. He's been focused. He's ready. Hasn't had to change anything he's doing. He's doing the right thing. He's dedicated to the sport. He loves boxing. He respects it, and he's going to shock the world.
And this isn't something that Caleb just sort of came out of thin air when he won the IBF Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Even before he won the title, he said, I'm winning one, but I'm going to take all 4 of them. And now we're 10 days away until he can make that dream become a reality.
Yeah, I mean, he's been saying it for a long time that he wants to be the first ever undisputed super middleweight world champion, and he's going to do it. There's other things that he said he wanted to do. He said he was going to get this is not on the same scale, but just for example, he said he wants to have a car club, ESC Kings, have a 64 Impala. Well, he's got it. You know, he said he wanted to have a great team, a solid team around him. Everyone vibes well together. He's got it. He's won all his fights. He's done what he said he's going to do, and he's going to prove it again on November 6th.
He said he was going to main event at the highest level. It doesn't get any bigger than Las Vegas against Canelo Alvarez.
Oh yeah, he's excited for it. He shines under the lights. Caleb's a fighter that the more eyes on him, the more lights on him, he does even better. He's a showman. He feels comfortable in the ring. I feel really, you know, outside of the ring, he's very quiet. Doesn't really talk much, but in the ring, you know, you'll see him in there blowing a kiss to his opponent, winking at him, dancing, and I feel like he does that because in there, that's home for him. That's where he's comfortable.
That's his stage.
That's his stage. He doesn't want to be anywhere else than in the ring.
Well, Jordan, thanks so much for your time. We'll let you continue to be a part of his training session. Thanks so much. All the best of luck. Look forward to seeing you during fight week.
Thanks, Ray. Great job.
Jordan Plant joining us here, the wife of Caleb Plant, and also esteemed boxing reporter. Listen, Jordan has been there with Caleb from the very beginning. She's such a smart boxing mind and does a wonderful job on television. And speaking of television, if you're not going to be here in Las Vegas, you need to order it on pay-per-view. Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant on SHOWTIME pay-per-view. The first time in history that that the super middleweight division will be unified. Undisputed is the name of the game on November 6th on Showtime pay-per-view here in Las Vegas. Back to Caleb Plant working.
I don't know where I'm at. Be confused.
With his lead trainer, Justin Gamber, Caleb Plant will go head-to-head against Canelo Alvarez on November 6th on Showtime pay-per-view from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. As we are going to grab Del Torrance coming up in a few moments. He is one of the assistant trainers as Caleb Plant 10 days away until he puts his IBF Super Middleweight Championship on the line against Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO Super Middleweight Championships of the world. All 4 titles will be on the line, and we are going to be joined alongside by Del Torrance, one of the assistant trainers of Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, as he prepares for his showdown coming up on November 6th on Showtime pay-per-view. We're going to dive into our conversation with Del Torrance, who has been around the sport of boxing for many, many years, working with the likes of Ken Norton. Also, he's worked with the likes of Virgil Hill, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe, and Mike McCallum as well, the body snatcher himself, as we are with Del Torrance having a conversation with him. Del, thanks so much for your time. Del, what is the mood like here with training camp with Caleb Plant as we're 10 days away until he squares off against Canelo Alvarez on Showtime pay-per-view?
Right. Well, number one, I'm satisfied with where we are right now. This has been a great camp. Not only a great camp, we got great people here. And that's interesting. When people are good, the camp is good. We've had good sparring partners, you know. We're fighting a great fighter. Got to acknowledge that. And so it's been great. I'm satisfied with it as to where we are at this moment.
How does Caleb compare to any of the luminaries and the big names, the legendary names that you've worked with over the course of your career?
Well, I think at this point he falls right within the realms of some of the great kids that we worked with, you know, the Mike McCallum, the Montel Griffin, the Riddick Bowe, and guys like that. I know that his attitude is good, his training ethics are good, you know, and plus he listens well, and that's the key. You get all these basic things together. It's important that you listen, you know, and keep that pressure off of you. So, again, I can say it compares with some of the best, and I feel really good.
Do you think that Caleb is sort of a throwback fighter in the sense of this? You hear fighters that talk about the financial ramifications of a fight, but for Caleb, the one thing that I've known about him since even before he even fought Jose Luis Uzcategui is history. He said, I want to make history. I'm going after all the belts. I don't want just one, I want all 4. Do you think that he's sort of an homage to that old school mentality that he wants to go ahead and unify the division and show that he's the world's best?
Yeah. I think what we have is, Caleb, is that inner desire to win and not acknowledging where he came from, He has an idea of where he want to go. He knows he's in an environment with some great fighters. He want to be a great fighter, and I think he has the ability to do it. He thinks under pressure, and that's always important in this business. You can have all those other things. You must be able to think under pressure, and I've noticed that so far in this camp, and that's the part I kind of like about it. And he listens well. Right.
Well, not giving away your game plan, but what is the key to beating Canelo Alvarez on November 6th in Las Vegas?
Well, yes, and not giving away our game plan, but listen, everybody's beatable. I know Canelo. I know his trainer. They're great guys. They're great people. We're all from California. I know them. And I think Caleb has been able to adapt to some of those great qualities that he's going to bring to the table. And I think that's it. We'll set up the game plan, and if he can follow the game plan, I think we'll be successful.
Caleb being a big underdog, is that something that you guys pay attention to, or is that more fodder for the media and for fans to be able to talk about?
I think it's better for the media and the fans to be able to talk about it. I don't like him even looking at TV. You know what I mean? I don't want him to go out.
Pure isolation.
That's absolutely. That's where I came from. You're focused on what you're doing. You got a game plan. This is a tough business. It's a business of hurting people, and you got to put your life into it. If you got your life into it and you work hard, you listen well, and he has ability, I think we have the ability to accomplish our goal.
Well, Dal, thanks so much for your time. Always appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you during fight week.
It's my pleasure. You have a good day. Okay?
Dal Torrance joining us with the assistant trainers here of Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. The Caleb Plant workout continues here in Las Vegas. The IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World takes on Canelo Alvarez November 6th. Showtime pay-per-view. Do not miss it. All right, now we are with legendary cutman Don House, as he is the man in charge of wrapping the hands of Caleb Plant and also being just another asset to the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World. Don, thanks so much for your time. You've been a very busy man. You were in the corner of Deontay Wilder back a few weeks ago and his epic fight against Tyson Fury. Now you're here with Caleb Plant as he prepares to embark on his Super Middleweight unification showdown against Canelo Alvarez. How has the camp been like? And tell us about what it's like working with Caleb Plant.
Man, listen, the camp has been great. Working with Caleb Plant was like a dream. He's one of the hardest working guys. Also one guy, maybe two guys work as hard as him. Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather. This kid worked just
so you're saying he's number 3. So you're saying Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr., and Caleb Plant's number 3?
Well, I would put him in the top 3 or the top 1. He works just as hard. This guy loves the gym. It's not about the fame and the fortune. He loves his job. And I love that when a fighter loves their job because it makes our job easy. Yeah.
So as he prepares and he gets ready for Canelo Alvarez, have you seen something different? Have you seen more of an edge out of Caleb compared to previous camps?
This is the biggest fight for both sides. Unification never happened in the history of the super middleweight division. So that's a whole new spark with this guy. I mean, he's loving it. I mean, he wants. I mean, this has been his dream ever since he's been a kid. I think I've been with Caleb now for the last maybe 6 or 7 fights. So, and every camp is just getting more and more stronger with this kid. He's hungry, he's motivated, he's dedicated. I mean, you can't ask for a better fighter.
So you being in charge of making sure that his weapons and that his money makers are okay and safe, do you put any extra pressure on yourself and making sure that his hands are wrapped and everything else? Because I mean, look, Caleb Plant, he does hit hard. I've watched him in sparring, and he can crack without a doubt.
Man, I got so many years of wrapping hands. This is like a walk through the park for me. But you're right. I put a little extra care in him because, hey, this is a tough fight for him. Plus, he can crack. So you got to put a little extra care in him. But I've been wrapping hands, man, I don't know, 20, 30 years, man. That's what I do.
So what does this mean for you, just personally being involved? The super middleweight division has never been unified. Undisputed has never transpired. And on November 6th, it will, with Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant vying for all 4 championships.
Man, listen, this is history for me also. I mean, this is the biggest thing in boxing right now. I mean, the unification for all the belts, all the marbles, this is like the best thing on the planet. So I'm just excited as this guy is.
What do you think about Don House, Caleb?
Magic Don Juan.
Magic Don Juan, is that what you call him?
Yeah, Magic Don Juan.
He keeps your weapons safe and ready to go?
He's been doing a great job. He's got a lot of boxing knowledge. He's been doing this. He's been in the game for a long time, and he's a perfect fit for us. He has a lot to the game, to our team. Always little boxing nuances and stuff. So, we love having him in here.
I feel like you have a lot of smart boxing minds. Del Torrance, Don House, your father, Justin. It's a collection of all these brilliant minds coming together.
Absolutely, like you said. A lot of boxing knowledge on one team. A lot of these guys have been doing this for at least 75, 100 years, something like that,
Sure,
right?
Man. I've been in this since 72, so.
My dad's like, 101 years old, so.
But I feel you're an old school. You have that old school mentality.
Yeah, all the coaches have the old school mentality, so, they've, that's how I was brought up, that's how I was raised, and I'm looking to carry on that legacy of, being an old school fighter.
Champ, we'll let you continue your workout. Don, thanks so much. Champ, always a pleasure seeing you. Caleb Plant working out. We'll let him continue his workout here in Las Vegas.
5 seconds. For most people, that's a downplay. Final exercise. Neck up and down. Begin. Yeah, absolutely.
We're here in Las Vegas. You are watching the media workout of the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Caleb Sweethands Plant from Nashville, Tennessee, now living here in Las Vegas. 10 days away until Caleb Plant puts his IBF Super Middleweight crown on the line against the WBC, WBA, and WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Canelo Alvarez. It is the Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship of the World, culminating on Saturday, November 6th from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas on Showtime pay-per-view. As you see the champ, and you see him, he looks absolutely shredded. He is in impeccable physical shape. The entire team here applauding him, and he looks massive and in tip-top physical shape. And I've seen Caleb Plant, and I've known him for many years, and this is the best in shape that I have ever seen him, and that's that we are 10 days away until he squares off against Canelo Alvarez for all the marbles at 168 pounds. Caleb Plant all set and ready to go for his showdown against Canelo Alvarez. Do not miss it on Showtime pay-per-view as Caleb Plant continues to put on the finishing touches of training camp here in Las Vegas. It's Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez, November 6th on Showtime pay-per-view here in Las Vegas. And as I mentioned earlier, the entire fight week will be covered from top to bottom on the Showtime Boxing and Show Sports social media pages. You do not want to miss a single moment. Also, All Access Episode 2 will debut this Friday night. If you haven't seen All Access Episode 1, what are you waiting for? You can check it out on the Showtime social media pages. Episode 1 was unbelievable, and expect something even greater for Episode 2. Once again, as we wrap up the workout of Caleb Sweethands Plant, Caleb, as we see you physically, this is the best in shape I've ever seen you. Is that how you're feeling?
Absolutely. This is the best shape I've ever been in. I work hard in all my camps. You know, you don't become a world champion by training like a world champion once you become a world champion. You got to train like a world champion before you become a world champion. And but I put a lot of work in this camp. It's been a great camp. I'm peaking at just the right time. I'm locked in. I'm focused. The moment doesn't seem too big. The closer we get, it seems like the smaller the moment's getting, so I'm ready.
We saw in All Access that you started off on this journey with your father. Your father went ahead and he never wanted to see you have a bye in tournaments. But what does it mean for you to be a part of this, or to have your father with you, a part of this journey, since you guys have been together since the outset and really working hard in Nashville and in the Tennessee area when you guys didn't even have a boxing ring?
I mean, it means a lot. You know, it's been a long journey, and you know, I appreciate those times, you know, my dad pulling me from that #1 seed and put me as the last seed so I don't get a bye, because, you know, those tough moments made me the fighter that I am now. So I got a great team around me. We all put in a lot of work this camp, and we're all ready for November 6th.
10 days away, what message do you want to tell Canelo Alvarez if he's watching this?
You better be ready, man. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna let these do the talking come November 6th.
Caleb, good luck. We look forward to seeing you during Fight Week next week.
Appreciate it.
Caleb Sweethands Plant, that'll do it from the workout of the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World. Undisputed Super Middleweight supremacy on the line. Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez on Showtime pay-per-view, MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. We will see you next week during Fight Week. So long from Las Vegas, the camp of Caleb Sweethands Plant, the IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World.